Please unmute yourself. Okay, I can see everyone is leaving the meeting. Okay. Radha, where are you? 5:40 Radha. I'm calling your name. Where are you? Are you sleeping or what? Respond. Where are you? Are you there? Okay. So I'll. Okay, she left the meeting already. Okay. Okay. So Sita, 508 Sita, please introduce yourself. 508
Hello,
Sita.
am
Yes,
I
yes.
audible, sir?
Yes, yes, you are. Please introduce yourself.
Good afternoon, sir. First of all,
Yeah.
thank you very much for giving this opportunity to introduce about myself. My name is Sita Lavanya. I am from Mangara, and my father is a contractor, and my mother is a housewife. And my hobby, sir, I love to sing songs and cooking
Okay.
and reading books, which gives us moral. And
Okay.
my long term goal, my short term goal is to become a job holder, and my long term goal is to become an IAS officer and make my family proud. That's it, sir.
Okay.
Thank you
That's
very much, sir.
okay. That's good. That's great, Sita. Okay. And now let's listen. Gautami. 5A1 Gautami. Please introduce yourself. Gautami, are you there? 5A1. Gautami, are you still with us? That's fine. But so guys, listen. Why we are conducting this self introduction? You know what? Because even if you crack and programming rounds, right? Even if you crack the programming rounds, and you are not capable to cross the interview round, then there is no meaning of studying this much, right? If you are damn good in programming, like if I give you any program, you will solve it like in a flash. But there's no point on learning this much if you can't crack the interview round, right? uh, One of my friend, like my batchmate, he was damn good in programming, even though he's from mechanical, even though he was from mechanical, but he was way much better than the many of the uh, CSE students. He cracked many programming round from what do you say, many companies, but he was very underconfident, so he was not able to crack the interview round. Okay. And Sita, your introduction was great, but keep in mind that while you are introducing, right, while you are introducing, first introduce your name. First tell your name, right, full name. Okay. And after that, yeah, and after that your academics, right, after that your academics. No need to tell about your family background, right? No need to tell your family background. I miss studies. Okay, no problem. So there is no need to tell the family background, okay? And after that, in the end, you don't have to say thank you, or that's it. Why? Because you know what? When you appear for some business development rounds, right? Business development. You know what is business development role? I know you guys are preparing for software engineers, but You know, life is like, it's not quite fair. You can get a job of a business development executive, right? So in that kind of interviews, you never end with thank you and that's it. It shows your lack of communication capabilities. And always maintain some smile. Your confidence was really good, huh, Sita? Your confidence was great. A 10 on 10 for confidence. Okay. And one thing, that keep smile on your face anytime. Okay. So that the HR also can smile. Like that's make a great expression, get great impression on the HR. So while introducing yourself, keep a smile on your face. So for today, this much points are enough. Tomorrow we'll ask some new girl to introduce herself, and let's see what point she take out. Okay. So for now, we'll focus on our regular studies. So yesterday we have completed our control flow statement, right? If else and nested if, right? If else and if statement. Today we will learn about ternary operators and switch case operator. Ternary and switch case. Okay. So let's jump on our topic. I'll make my screen visible to you. Okay. So I guess my screen is visible. So a ternary operator evaluate test condition and execute a block of code based on the result of the condition, right? So you can see here, and the syntax. In the syntax, you can see we are storing the result of whatever the condition, right? Whatever the ternary operator, the operation performed, is going to be stored in the variable. This one, right? And this expression one, you can see here expression one, right? In expression one, you guys are going to be putting your condition, whatever the condition you want. According to you, you can put the condition over there, and based on that condition, in which direction you want to make your program flow. Okay, either in the either in the direction of expression 2 or in the direction of expression 3. Okay, totally based on upon your condition. Whatever condition you applied for the program, and decide in which direction it needs to flow, either in the direction of expression 2 or either in the direction of expression 3. Well, if you if you if you take my advice from me, consider this ternary operator as if else statement, right? Consider this ternary operator as if else statement. So what happens in if else? You put a condition in if block, right? You if first you put a condition in if block, then what happens? Whatever statement we have, whatever statement we have in if block, it got executed, right? Got executed. And else 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 block will execute, right? So if I explain up in the diagram, diagrammatical way, if I explain, there is no problem, Gautami. uh, okay, so you can see this whiteboard, right? You can see this whiteboard. So why I'm telling you that consider this ternary operator as a if else. See, in the if condition, in the if block, you write expression one, right? So in the if block, you write expression one, and inside that, in the if statement block, we will execute expression 2. Okay. Now, after this block, after this, in the else, expression 3 will get executed. So this is our first part. Okay. And where is a okay? This is our one and two. So see, compare this compare this if else statement with ternary operator, right? So in the expression one we put our condition, right? In expression one we put our condition. So as in if else, so as in if else, in this expression one we will put our condition, right? So now on based on this expression one we will decide our flow of the program, right? Whether it will go in the expression 2 direction or in expression 3 direction. Similarly, in the if else statement, if expression 1 is right, if the if condition is right, it will execute expression 2, right? It will execute expression 2. Else, it will execute expression 3, right? If you compare this two, you will find similarities. Okay. So what is happening over here? We have expression 1 as a condition. We have expression 1 as a condition. Depend on the condition, the program will decide whether it will go in expression 2 direction, means if block, else the expression 3, right? In here. So how many of you guys understood this ternary operator? Just let me know. How many of you guys understood the ternary operator? Please let me know. What about the others? Please guys, let me know if you understood the ternary operator or not. Okay, what about others? Yeah. So, in short, compare the ternary operator as your if else. Thank you everyone for your response. So consider this if else, consider this ternary operator as your if else block, right? The expression 1 will be your if condition, and expression 2 will be the statement inside the if block, and this expression 3 will be the statement inside the else block, right? So this is the syntax. This is the syntax for ternary operator. Variable name in which you are going to store your result. Expression 1 as your condition, followed by the question mark, right? And after that we have expression 2 separated by colon. Okay, separated by colon and expression 3. So this is your syntax for ternary operator. Okay, for better understanding we will go in our compiler. Okay, for better understanding we will see in the compiler. Okay, so let's get one new project. Okay, for that we'll be going on new and project. Yeah, we'll check the latest version and next we'll Click on the checkbox. Then next, right? Let's give some name as let's give name as fruits and file name as salad. Okay. Now finish. You'll work on new window. Okay. So here we are with our fruit as a project name and salad as your uh, package name, right? So here we have main class and main object, right? I'll just erase this. Okay. So what I'll do is I'll introduce one variable. Sorry, we will take input from user using scanner function. Sorry, scanner class. Okay. First we will take input using scanner class. So what we do in scanner class, we use SCANNER scanner, right? Scanner space an object name. Let's name this object as Popeye the Sailor Man. Okay. So this is our object name, and between this A and N, we'll click and Alt Enter. So because of this Alt Enter, we will import one file, Java Util Scanner. We will import one file, right? So this file, Java Util Scanner, contains the definition of this scanner class. Okay, this scanner class has definition stored in the Java Util Scanner. Okay, and after that, we will use a new keyword, and again we'll type scanner. After that, we'll use system system.in. Okay, so because of this system.in, program will hold for us to take an input value. Okay, okay. So after that we will ask the user SOUT to enter some marks. Okay, enter marks. Okay, and after that we will take one variable double. We'll take one variable as result, or no, first we need to store marks, right? First we need to store marks, so we'll store in marks variable equals to for that what we do for input, we just type input input dot next, and we are taking double as value, right? Double, so we'll type double. Okay, why it is not appearing? What happened? What happened? What is the problem? Cannot resolve symbol input. It is not a symbol. Okay, let's remove this first.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I think in the place of input we have to place object name.
Arey, yeah. That's what I was missing. Thank you. Huh? May I know your name?
Shravanti, sir.
Thank you, Shravanti. Okay, so in place of input, we will write our object name, right? Okay. Yeah, so now it's not showing it. Thank you. Huh? Thank you for making me correct. Okay. And after that, we will write SOUP system output, enter the marks. Okay, so now we have taken an input from user in the form of double, which is stored in marks variable, right? So now we need to perform that whatever marks we have entered, depend on this, we need to find either a student is fail or pass, right? So what we will do is we'll store a result in some variable, right? Let's take a string variable. Let's name it as result. Okay. So in this result variable, we will store the output of our ternary operator, right? In this result variable, we will be storing the output of our ternary operator. So for that, we will apply one condition. Let's say mark is greater than marks greater than 30 or 45. For passing a subject from 100, what marks you need? 35 or 40? 45? 35? Yeah, it's 35, right? 35. Okay, so let's take 35 as a passing mark, right? And after applying condition, we need to input question mark. And the other condition with, we are using string, right? So we'll do this pass separated by colon, right? Separated by colon, and another string as fail. So this is our expression, ternary expression. And after that, we will print the whatever result we have, whatever the output we have stored in this result variable. So for that, we need to use system output. Okay, so that we'll format it, right? We will format it with student okay, student has space, and now we will include our variable. So for that, you need to press enter, sorry, plus sign, and the variable name in which the value is stored, right? When we are using system out println. And let's see what I'm doing here. Just see what I'm doing here. Okay, after that, I'll be using this the exam. Okay, so why I'm doing this? Plus sign on both the side of variable. Why? Because see, I'm using string on the left side of the variable. I'm using string in the right side of the variable, right? So because of that, I'm using plus sign on the both the sides. So if I'm using only this, if I'm using only this much left side, I'll just do a plus sign and followed by the variable in which my value is stored. Okay, now, but I'm using string on the both side. That's why I'm using space is exam. Okay, now I'll take one. I'll give one constructor or say keyword. Let's say a class object name. Object name. What is our object name? Popeye, right? Popeye dot close. With this, our program is done. Okay, so this is how our program is done. So let's run this program and see what output we get. Ready? What happened? Did not find a load main select dot main. What? Okay, I just saved it now. I'll just copy this program. Okay, copy this program into new project Yeah. Yeah. Mamta, you're saying something? Mamta, you're saying something? No. Okay. So we'll take my new figures. Enter this. Well, this is our project name, right? And we'll use this is our, okay, then finish and a new window. Okay, so now we will just copy paste our program. Okay, so we can't use two main method, right? We can't use two main method. So we just enter this and this. So I guess we are not having error. So let's run this. Okay, let's get it built. Let's get it built, and in the output, see the program is stopped for us. If you see this symbol, right? If you see this symbol, this means program has stopped for us to take input. Okay, so let's give some input as 85. Enter. It says student has passed the exam. Okay, so I'll explain this program again. What we did is we have used user input, right? We have used user input. For that, I'm using scanner class. So the definition of the scanner class is stored in my Java util this file, Java util scanner. Okay, and for that I'm writing the syntax as scanner object name equals to new is a keyword, scanner then system.in. This because of the system.in, it will hold the program to pass the argument. Okay, and then after that we are printing that please enter the marks of the student. Okay, so whatever the marks it entered, the user entered got stored in the marks variable, right? So for taking the value using the scanner method, the syntax is the data type, okay, data type variable name equals to the uh, object name Popeye dot. Then next is our keyword, and after that whatever value you have to input over here. So let's say I have to input an integer value. Next I. So here you can see I have this next capital INT. So it will enter my integer value. But you can see here we have declared marks at double, right? Marks as double. So what we will do is we'll just use double only. So double click on it, it will appear as this. Okay. So this double is your data type of marks, and the whatever marks user input got stored in the variable marks variable. Okay, so we are using this marks variable to perform some ternary operator, right? So the statement is marks greater than 35, right? This is our condition followed by equal to. This is our condition followed by equal to, and after that we have another two expression as pass and fail, right? Depends on the condition. Depends on the condition. The program will decide in what flow it should go, right? Depends on the condition, the program will decide, the compiler will decide in what flow it should go. So whatever the output we get after this ternary operator, whatever the result we get after this ternary operator will got stored in this result variable, right? Which will get stored in this result variable. Our expression are in the string form, right? String form. So that's why we use string result. Okay, and after that we are just printing the value of result variable. Whatever output we have stored in result in whatever output we have stored in result variable, we are printing it. Okay, So for printing, we are using plus sign on the both side of the variable. Why? Because on the left we have one dialog, and also in the right side we have one dialog. That's why we are using plus sign on both, right? Then after we are using object dot close. Papa is an object name, right? Dot close. It will hold your program for the argument, for the input. Okay, so if I run this again, okay, if I run this again, program will stop for me to enter some input values. Okay, see, I need to enter, let's say someone secured only 30 marks, right? Someone secured only 30 marks. After running this program, you can see student has failed the exam, the output. So this condition became wrong. Right? So that's why the fail means the second output is shown in the output box. So compare this. Okay. So compare this program with, check out. So compare this program with this. This condition, this mark greater than 35 as your if expression, right? If expression. So if the condition is right, if the marks are greater than 35, the pass means whatever we have in the expression to means inside the if block will get executed, right? And if the condition became false, the else block fails, else block got executed. So this was all about the ternary operator. So guys, please let me know if you guys understood the if you guys understood the program or not. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your responses, guys. Okay. So after this, we'll directly jump to our switch case. After this, we'll directly jump to our switch case. Okay. So for that, explaining that, I'll be needing one whiteboard. Instead of using the other one, let's use this one only. Okay. So now I'm explaining you guys switch case, right? I know you guys already know switch case, but this is my teacher inside me want to explain everything, right? So let's see what is switch case. Okay, I have you guys seen the vending machine in which we put some coins, and in return we choose the packet, whatever chips we want, or whatever soda we want. Yeah, and in the outlet we get our packet, right? So consider this vending machine, right? Consider this vending machine as your switch case program. Consider this vending machine as your switch case program, and in this vending machine you have few options. Okay, in first we have let's say potato chips. In the first option we have potato chips. In the second option we have banana chips, right? And in the third option you have cola. So if I have 10 rupee, right? So in this 10 rupees I want to order I want banana chips. So I'll use this 10 as my input, right? I use this 10 as my input and choose this second option. And I'll choose this second option. And in the output, I'll be getting banana chips, right? In the output, I'm getting banana chips. So this whole vending machine is your program, and this 1, 2, and 3 are your choices, right? This whole vending machine is your program, and this 1, 2, or 3, 1, 2, and 3 are your choices. And this 10 rupees is your input. After putting it, it will perform some steps, and after that, it will give you output as banana chips. So this was all about your switch case statement. Yeah. Select the object based on money we insert. You are right, Shravanti. So we'll understand this switch case with the help of a few programs. Okay. So first we will write one program to take output as day. Okay. To take output as day. So for that we will need one new project. Project. Let's name something this project, or we can perform in this same file only. You don't need one. I'll just take one new class. I'll go on my project name, and after that we have one resource file, source file. In source file we have package. Click on package, then right click, new, select on Java class, and after that enter some name dot Java. Yeah. So here we are with our new class. So in that new class, we need to introduce our main method, right? For that, public static void main PSVM, and inside that, I'm declaring a variable. I'm declaring a variable int day equals to 2. I have declared int day equals to 2. Okay. So now I'll directly go on switch case. Switch. I'll give my input to the switch case. So in that, my first case is print SOUT, print this print Saturday. Okay. Let's print Saturday. And in case 2, I'm printing Sunday, right? And after that, in case 3, I'm printing Monday. Okay. So first I need to open this curly brace, and so this is my switch case program. Okay, now let's run this program and see the output first, and then after that I'll explain the program. So I'll run this file as main. Click on this, then run it as main. Okay. So is it building or not? It's building. Okay. Why it is printing both? Okay. Okay, my bad. This is switch case in Java, switch case operator. Switch case operator. Okay. Works on only two step. So if I run this, and after that the output will be Sunday, as you can see over here. Okay. So what was the first mistake I did? Do you remember the first mistake what I did? It was printing both Sunday and Monday, right? It was printing both Sunday and Monday. Have you guys caught what mistake I did when I write Monday? Puja, okay, guys. Arey, you guys answered first only. Sir, once please repeat. Okay, Shanti, I'll repeat. Pooja, Lakshmi, Sita, you guys right. I didn't mention the break statement. That's why it was. That's why it was printing both. So if I write again, if again I write case 3. Okay, if again I write case 3 and in that I print Monday. So if I run this program, you can see in the output it printing both Sunday and Monday. Why? Because the program is not terminating after the case 2. It is running again. After choosing this case 2, the program is not terminating. So for terminating, I should mention a break statement, right? A break statement. Because of this break statement, what program will do is it will directly jump to the exit. Okay. After reading this break statement, the program will directly jump to the exit. And if I run this program again, you can see in the output it is showing it is just showing Sunday. Why? When I choose two, it go on case number 2, it printed Sunday, right? It printed Sunday, and after that program read break. So because of this break statement, the program directly jump out of the switch case. That's why in the output we are just getting Sunday. Okay, so this was all about our switch case. So if you guys have any doubt, please let me know about this switch case. If you guys have any doubt about this switch case, please let me know. Now you get it, Shravanti? If you guys have any doubt regarding this, please let me know. I think the last case doesn't need the break. Yeah, it doesn't need the break because after that we don't have any program, right? We don't have any statements. That's why we don't require to mention break after the last statement. You're right, Shravanti. Anyway, the program was going to be terminated, so that's why we don't need to write break after that. Okay, so is anyone there in the class who didn't get the switch case? Please let me know, guys. If anyone in there in the class who didn't get the switch case, please let me know. No one? No one? Okay, that's great. Okay. So let's do one thing. I'll give you 2 MCQs, okay? And I want answer from you guys that you guys understood the ternary operator or not. I'll provide you with 2 MCQs and let me know the answer. Okay, so this is our MCQ. First MCQ. Ternary operator is called some. So please give me the answer in the chat box. Please give me the answer in the chat box. What is the answer of this? B. Just 5 answer. What about the rest? Please give the answer fast. Okay, B. Okay, great. So let's check the answer. So you guys are definitely right. B is the answer, right? We were comparing this ternary operator with the if else, right? and if else is itself a conditional operator. So that's why we can compare this ternary operator as conditional operator, right? So the next MCQ is Java ternary operator can be used with can read it properly. Okay, Java ternary operator can be used with. We are comparing ternary operator with if else, right? So please be sensible. I mean, K A. What about others? It is okay if you guys wrong. Okay, just mention your answers. Okay. Okay. D. So whoever gave the answer as D, you guys are definitely right. You guys are definitely right because we have compared ternary with if else, right? If else. So if else can be used with all of the above. We can use in loop, right? If else can be used inside loops. If else can also be used in while and do while. Means it's loops itself. Yeah. And ternary operator is known as if else statement. So that's why all of the three means D option is correct. So here, whoever mentioned the answer D, you guys are definitely right. Okay. So let's do one thing now. Let's do one thing. Please go through this link which I have mentioned in the chat box and please give me feedbacks. Okay. And may